Alrighty guys, we're back for Rakdos Fling, and this is an Outlaws, a Thunder Junction standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, this was a suggestion over in the Discord, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. The main suggestion was actually to build a deck that grabs a lot of the opponent's things, then throw those things at the opponent's face. I was actually really struggling to piece that together, but we still have a little bit of that in here with a couple Furnace Reins. So gain control of target creature until end of turn. You untap that creature, of course it gains haste, and then whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, you create a treasure token as well, and that treasure token is actually going to go a long way because it doesn't say tapped treasure token. So if you do get that treasure token, you could spend that on like the Callous Sell-Sword's adventure side here, burned together for just a red mana. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any other target, then sacrifice that creature. Beautiful stuff, man. And of course, we have so much packed in that we just won't mind throwing at the opponent's face, like Cacophony Scamp, making the cut as a 4 of course. We also have Slickshot Show-Off in here, and I'm going to do my dandiest to play today's games super greedy, just not afraid at all to throw a chunky slick shot at the opponent's face with that burn together. We'll see if that ends up paying off in our favor in the long run. A lot of really neat things that, of course, we can pair with that Slick Shot and the Scamp. We got all 4 Monstrous Rage, of course, making the cut. We do have a Felonious Rage in here as well. We have Fake Your Own Death, too. So until end of turn, target creature gets +2/+0 and gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, and you gain a treasure token as well. I'll tell you what, man, all this extra treasure is going to go the extra mile, even though it's very much trying to be a low mana cost aggro build. There's going to be so many turns where we just want to spend 5 or 6 mana all on the same turn to just really pop off. So yeah, I think the treasures are going to be huge. Also why Greedy Freebooter made the cut too, just when it dies, scry 1 treasure token, beautiful stuff. Also, all the extra treasure, yeah, like I said, if you get like 1 extra treasure on a turn, then you can spend that 1 for like the burn together. But there's other reasons too, like Annihilating Glare is only 1 mana, for example. This is actually our choice spot removal, and that's it, dude. There's no other spot removal packed in, so probably not enough, but we are trying to be super duper explosive to the opponent's face. A little bit of card draw here with Fanatical Offering. Popping those treasure tokens is an option, and then Offering plays well off of itself by popping the map tokens that it generates as well. On the top end of the build, we do have a Voldaren Thrillseeker, just more ways to throw things at the opponent's face, and we have Ayara, Widow of the Realm, too, actually as a 2-of. So for 3 mana, it's a 3/3. You can tap it, sacrifice another creature or artifact, and then Ayara deals X damage to target opponent or battle, and you gain X life, where X is the sacrificed permanent mana value. So in this build, if you're throwing a show off, then it's only going to be 2. But I just wanted even just more ways to kind of just poke the opponent's face. There's not a whole lot of evasion in here packed in outside of the Slickshot Show-Off's flying, right? But just more ways outside of throwing it with a burn together. It's kind of like throwing it, but a weaker form of throwing it. But then also, if you do end up taking some of the opponent's creatures with like a Furnace Reins or something, it's just if you have the Ayara established, of course, you can sacrifice whatever creature you take. So it's another reason for that. And then the bottom ability 2 for 5 and a Phyrexian mana. It's not going to be unheard of to go ahead and flip this into the Furnace Queen, which could be pretty cool. I also have a top end here with Rankle and Torbran. With all the extra treasures, if we're not using them right away on some of our 1 mana cards, then I think just ramping into a top-end Rankle and Torbran could be pretty good in a deck like this, where we don't mind like sacrificing extra creatures and stuff, or this also generates extra treasure tokens too. So in the mana base, Crucible Defiance, Abandoned Mire, rocking the Cliffs and the Ridge this time with a Restless Vents. So we do got some honorable mentions too. I wanted to point out as well, it's like I've been saying, it's going to be a lot of moments where we just want a lot of mana on the board and just want to do a lot of things. So we do have 24 total mana in here. Hopefully that's not too much, especially when we're like restocking our hand. And then, yeah, sometimes you're going to want to do like 3 to 4 things on the same turn. So honorable mentions, guys. I wanted to bring up that Fake Your Own Death. This is actually a reprint. Like, what? Dude, this was out in New Capenna, and I don't think I've ever played with it. Don't quote me on that. I might have tried it out at some point, but I really do feel like it's going to fit beautifully in here, especially with like that Slickshot Show-Off and stuff. So yeah, just wanted to point out that it was a reprint. Laughing Jasper Flint almost made the cut. I actually couldn't find a good way to make it work in here. Rakdos the Muscle could take the place of Rankle and Torbran. I think Rankle and Torbran is going to be a little bit better in this build. I wanted to bring up the Sulphurous Springs too. I don't think that the Pain Land is going to be necessary for this particular build. That's why I'm not running it. Okay, guys, I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked and see how we do. Okay, right into that first game here. So what am I expecting from the list, huh? I have no idea. It has Slickshot Show-Off, so it must be good, right? It must be. You go first. Why, thank you, Arena. I appreciate going first. I don't mind this hand at all. Let's keep it. It's not necessarily like a fast hand, but there's nothing wrong with this hand. Hopeless Nightmare. What do we discard? Let's go Haunted Ridge because I'd rather have an untapped source next turn in the Crucible, and we could always see more mana off the top. Rankle and Torbran. Okay, well, we'll get our mana down, go for the swing, and keep the Fanatical Offering open with the Freebooter. All right. Yeah, it's not a bad turn at all, because we could easily draw more mana here, and if we're up against discard, then the extra draw is going to be huge. When it sacrifices a creature, huh? Not if I sacrifice it first. Aha! Monstrous Rage. I'm going to send it. I don't know what I'm looking for right now, but not that. Okay, Furnace Reins could be good depending on what their top end looks like. Monstrous Rage. Uh-oh. Guys, we got 24 mana in here for a good reason. On our turn, we're going to start with this Fanatical Offering map token because we definitely want to save that treasure. All right, there's some mana. Okay, so Blackcleave Cliffs. We still got 2 open for the Sell-Sword, but I'm actually just going to hold back for now because I kind of want to do the burn together stuff. So the Tithing Blade here. Interesting. Liliana. Okay. Yeah, dude. I don't entirely know what we're up against, but I'm assuming it's Orzhov discard. Or, oh, Orzhov blink, maybe, right? So Furnace Reins might not do a whole lot against this build. Unfortunately, that is the discard, I believe. Annihilating Glare, sorcery speed, holding us up a little bit here, but it's going to be a good way to take care of that Liliana. When Rankle and Torbran can't get around it right now. Fanatical Offering will help us restock. Well, hold on. If we swing at Liliana, it goes down to 1. They won't have the -2. They get the plus, though. I think I'm just going to keep Fanatical Offering number 2 open. We're going to sacrifice... Man, that's tough. Sacrifice our map token. Fanatical Offering can sacrifice the treasure and hopefully find us our 5th. Maybe I should get that Callous Sell-Sword down. No, I'm just going to keep the Fanatical Offering open. Yeah, getting the Liliana off the board is pretty good there. Hopeless Nightmare. I believe we start with the Fanatical Offering to see more that we can discard. Greedy Freebooter and the 5th mana. So at this point, I suppose it will be Freebooter. Keep the 5th mana because there's no guarantee that we see more off the top. All right, more mana, but I guess we don't mind it. Rankle can come down. If Liliana 2 comes down and pops the Rankle, that would be pretty sad. Sorcery speed on this burn together as well, by the way. Let's get the Swamp down. Rankle and Torbran. So it's only 3. Do we choose the treasure token? No, I suppose not. We don't do anything. We can do this one, but we have nothing else going through for the turn anyways. Yeah, we don't want to put the opponent to like a 4th mana that they were missing. Now that they found their 4th, I guess it's still good that we didn't get them to their 5th, because then the almighty Bat God could have come down. More mana is not great. Let's start with the map token and see if we see something a little better here. I think this could easily be spot removal for the opponent. Slickshot Show-Off. All right, we're keeping that on top for sure. We're keeping Cliffs in hand to discard, as well as the Mountain. We're going to save the Monstrous Rage. This is silly, dude. Just going to get that Rankle swing. No spot removal for the opponent is huge for us. We're just going to do this ability. Totally fine. Yep, keeping everything because of the potential discard. They find their 5th, but it's a tapped land. So still no Bat God. They find Guardian to block well. We could always get the trample on the Rankle, though. Well, they're going to blink the Tithing Blade. No! Okay, okay. That's the end step, too, so we are going to lose the Rankle. It's too bad that's sorcery speed, huh? So Slickshot Show-Off is still going to be pretty good, though. We see it off the top. Plenty of mana. Let's get the Show-Off down. They don't know we have Monstrous Rage, but they still... They very likely let this go through, right? No, they probably block while they have the blocker. Well, it is what it is. It trades, and we get the Callous Sell-Sword down. I don't know, man. Everything kind of feels a little bit out of order, but we should definitely swing into that. Unfortunately, them finding a flyer here was pretty significant. It really was. We go for the damage and then just get Callous Sell-Sword down as a creature. Every little bit poking through is totally fine. This is going to be a 3/3, and then this extra mana, we're still just going to save for discards. I guess we... Yeah. If we find something else in the top that we need to save in our hand. Welcome comes down. Tithing Blade. Dude, that card's been rough, man. And the blink on it, too. That was really cool, opponent. Oh, no. More mana. All right, we can successfully play one then, for sure. And our top end is already gone. We exhausted all of our draw. Well, I don't know if we're going to find a way through, guys. At least their flyers are out, so more Slickshot Show-Offs could be good. Uh-oh. Yeah, we'll keep playing this land now. Now that we're at this point in the game, I think that the opponent's going to start to pull ahead pretty well. And any amount of extra discard that they find, they get more clues. The clues can draw them even more, so they keep their hand nice and stocked. They got a scry ability on Nightmare that they're going to be doing here. Dude, the opponent's deck is actually terrifying. At some point in this match, I probably could have played things in a different order, and maybe we could have gotten there. Maybe. The Guardian trade maybe was a little greedy. Maybe I shouldn't have swung into that, but they could have just found... They could have just found more removal. Oh no, there's all the mana that we're missing from the early game. We're definitely going to play this out. Let the opponent swing on in, because we only got a couple more turns here. Shieldred comes down, guarantees that it's only one turn after this one. We want to see what's on top of our build too, so... It's going to be more mana. Well... I mean, we were missing it for a lot of the early game. We ended up drawing what we needed off the offerings. Drop the opponent the GG. Watch out for this Tithing Blade, dude. When it ETBs, each opponent sacrifices a creature. That's something like I wasn't expecting at all. That blink was so huge for them. The blink happened to be a flyer that could block the Slickshot Show-Off too. Like a lot of that just ended up working out really well in the opponent's favor. Really cool deck. I can only imagine there's some prototype cards in there too. Because we see prototype Blink every now and then. I don't know if I've seen that version of Blink before. we may have and only saw like a different side of the deck. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Hopefully we get to see more sides of our build. Slickshot early on here, Cacophony Scamp. Only one red source in the hand. We're going to keep this. I'm not concerned about only having one red source at all. And we have the double black sources for the Ayara play too, so. Surveil, we're up against some Gruul. Fanatical Offering. So, Felonious Rage. Just get the Show-Off down. The trade into Scamp is actually just terrible for us. We're gonna play the Show-Off, and we really don't want to trade on the ground. But yeah, so I'm actually just gonna keep Scamp back. There's a chance of seeing like a Monstrous Rage off the top. It is a 4 of in the build. And they're gonna keep their blockers back. Callous Sell-Sword. Okay, with only one red mana, we don't have anything too fancy here. Fanatical Offering will be open, though. Depending on where they block here, they might let the Scamp go through. Felonious Rage. I wonder where the block would actually be. Because maybe we can take out that Aftermath Analyst, right? Alright, I guess now we'll swing, because they might not block with Maverick, but it's probably a Maverick block. And then we can go... Well, we could just do the Fanatical Offering, pop the Maverick anyways. That gets us a little bit more card draw, and it also buffs the Show-Off too. So we sacrifice the Scamp, like this. Buff the Show-Off, pop the Maverick anyways. They want it in the grave, but like getting these chump blockers off the board kind of feels important. We get the card draw. There's another red source, and then we'll go just for maximum amount of damage. We're not getting a detective or anything here. But while we have the chance to get big swings, we should take those big swings, right? So Cliffs is going to come out tapped, unfortunately. Arming Scoundrel. Dude, the opponents are bringing so much neat stuff to the table. What on earth? Charming Scoundrel. They go for that treasure token. They go ahead and replenish that. They might as well go for the swing, but they don't know what's in our hands, so... They are going to swing, keep one blocker back. Another Show-Off is actually pretty brutal, man, but we don't have too much here. The Callous Sell-Sword, once again, like, the sorcery side really showing its weakness. It might just be establish Ayara for the turn. Maybe we drop Show-Off number 2, pop the map token. That could be pretty good too, I suppose. That could be pretty good too. Yeah, as of right now, the deck is kind of seeing things out of order, which could very just well be the curve of the list, right? We'll swing. I don't think we die next turn, but we might. You never know. I guess against Gruul, there's definitely some explosive things they can do, but with that board state, no extra prowess, right? Like, sometimes we see Gruul and they go for, like, the super explosive side of it. Okay. They actually grabbed a lot from that Analyst there. How much did they grab out of the grave? Or they played their 4th mana. Okay, they grabbed 2 out of the grave. Okay, they're at 10. 3 gets through with the Rankle, and then each of these get 3, so that would be 9. We play Ayara. Man. If we play Ayara, and then pop the Ayara to the Sell-Sword, these both get 2 bucks. That's only 9 as well. So we might as well play the Rankle then. We're at 15. I still don't think we're dead next turn, but I suppose we could be. We do this. We don't do that. Oh, treasure token. Oh, okay, okay. Okay. And then we can throw any of these to the opponent's face. That works, that works. So Show-Off gets a buff. We throw the last two. I almost missed that, guys. I almost clicked through it on the Rankle ability as well. GG opponent. Also, it was going to do an extra 2 from the Rankle ability too, because it's not just combat damage. Yay, the deck did the thing in a weird order, but it did the thing. Hold on, let's look. Yeah, everything just felt really weird there. Rankle really coming in handy again. So it's if a source would deal damage to a player or a battle this turn, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. So it's not just like combat damage. So that's why we ended up getting them to -4 there anyways. It was 3 and then an extra 2. Cool. Yeah. Not much else to say there. I guess I really shouldn't complain too much about the weird order. Oh, did I click on the shop again? I did click on the shop again. Come on, Red, what are you doing? We got a limited amount of time here. We gotta keep the ball rolling. About 21 minutes into the video. We could easily squeeze like 3 more matches in, guys. That's gonna be the goal here. 5 matches total. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Mono blue? Maybe. We don't... It's weird. Like, we don't get to see too much mono blue, I guess. I don't know, standard like the last like 4 months or so. It's just been such a large variety that I just never know what we're up against half the time. Unless Selesnya Enchantments hits the board. Fake Your Own Death is a card that I really want to try today. This is a pretty good hand. And kind of like how I've been complaining about the order, this is like a hand where I'm just not going to complain because we got our early stuff early and that's important. So depending on the color that the opponent plays here is going to depend on whether or not we plot this or we just go for it. It's likely... Oh, human. See, I feel like we should just play it then. Human might wait till turn 3 for removal. I'm going to go for it. Extra damage matters. And mana off the top would be huge. Oh, swamp. No. All right. Totally my fault. So, Monstrous Rage. Get an extra little damage through. No. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense because I don't have double red on the board. We're just going to swing and play a Callous Sell-Sword then. Instead of getting like super greedy about it. We could drop Burn Together for an extra damage, get a treasure off the Freebooter, and then play Callous Sell-Sword. No. I'm just gonna not be greedy with it this time. Just gonna get the cards down. After the swamp came down and human on the cavern, I guess we just don't know what we're up against. Mosswood Dread Knight, Golgari? Fake Your Own Death could be pretty good here. Let's go for the swing. Dread Knight, of course, gets to do that whole fancy business, but... So, Callous Sell-Sword. Okay. I will do the Fake Your Own Death for the sake of the ramp. Unfortunately, it doesn't get trample or anything, but Sell-Sword gets to come back as a 3/3 because when it ETBs, it gets the extra counter, and then we could set up with the Scamp for the turn too, since that doesn't have haste or anything else fancy. That's a pretty good turn. And then, like, a red source off the top would be insane. That's something I'm finding right now. Double red sources on the board is actually pretty important for this list, so something that we just might want to consider. What are the odds of a board wipe, guys? I think I'm going to save the Show-Off for the endgame finisher. And we're just going to do everything else for the turn. So 3 attackers, Fake Your Own Death on the Scamp, and then pop the Scamp with its ability, take action. 3, proliferate. 3 to the opponent's face, bring it back with the treasure, and while we have it, let's do it. We will throw the Callous Sell-Sword at the opponent's face, bring him down to 1. This is what I'm talking about, dude. Now this is an order to things. All this with 2 mana? Holy cow, the opponent needs to gain some life here for sure, but they need to dance through a lot of hoops because look at our hand. Roll back, yeah, here's some life gain. But now they only have this Cavern on Human. With 1, 2, 3, it's just Monstrous Rage, isn't it, on the Scamp? Yep. Monstrous Rage on the Scamp. When it dies, we deal the extra 4 to the opponent's face. Good stuff, dude. Taking out Golgari feels great there. Holy cow. Oh, man. All right, let's keep the ball rolling. Now that was an order, man. Holy cow. Yeah, so maybe in those first 2 games, maybe we got a little unlucky with the ordering, and that's why I was complaining so much, but maybe not too. Like I said, when you're testing a build, like it takes so many games to finally decide, oh, it's the deck, or oh, we were getting unlucky, or something like that. So I'm keeping this. We do have 24 total mana, guys. It's sometimes the mana's feeling a little bit weird too. I'm just gonna bank on the fact that there's a good chance of seeing an untapped source off the top. We did not see the untapped source. I'm not going to play the Monstrous Rage just yet, because if we would have played it first, they could have dropped a cut down on the stack, which would have been pretty bad. So we're gonna keep those back for the show off. A lot of swamps today, guys. Oh my goodness. Don't mind seeing the mana at all. Start with the swing, plot the show off, or get the Ayara down. Start with the swing. I'm gonna take the 1. This is spot removal if I've ever seen it, man. So we're just gonna decline, and we're gonna plot the show off, and just keep both of the Monstrous Rage open in hand. If they pop the Scamp after letting it go through, we got an extra damage through with the Scamp. So they decide not to, actually. And hopefully this Ayara does something today. Dude, Flesh Gorger's terrifying. Okay. Okay, Swamp. Swamp isn't bad. So Show Off is free for the turn. So full swing, Scamp, double down on Monstrous Rage. We also have like Thrillseeker for the turn, buff the Scamp that way. That could be okay. 1, 2, have the sacrifice, get around the lifelink on the Flesh Gorger. I think we're going to save the Thrillseeker though. Just go double Monstrous Rage and try to get rid of the Flesh Gorger on the ground, doubling down on the Scamp. How do you guys feel about that? If we double down on Scamp, we got to remember that the auras don't stack. So 1, 2, auras don't stack. So it's actually 1 extra damage if we go over here. 3, 5. Actually, if we pop the Scamp since it's getting through, it's going to be an extra 6, which will take the action. But then the life gain on the Flesh Gorge. Oh, wait a minute. I want us down to 1. Scamp was at 4. If I buffed the Show Off, Show Off's dead. We still have 4 mana for the Thrillseeker, but it's not enough because they gain 3 here. So getting Ayara down, I think this Flesh Gorger could easily pull them back in, and I'm a little nervous because I had the chance to take out the Flesh Gorger. I think it could easily pull them back, guys. So back up 2, see, it brings it back down to 1. Did I misplay? Should Monstrous Rage went on to Slickshot Show-Off, pop the Scamp, 4 damage to the Flesh Gorger. Oh crap, dude. Okay, we're gonna get Ayara down over the Thrillseeker, but I don't think our creatures are gonna survive any of the turns because they barely played any removal this game. Uh-oh, Menace gets by too. We don't have a block. We go back up to 7. Dude, this is my fault 100%, right? Where could I have played it? My brain is telling me, like, for sure, I missed it somewhere. Because we got them so low. This is one, I'll go back in the video and I'll watch that specific play where I decided to double down on the Scamp. Archfiend. Wow. Yeah, with the extra life gain, I really should have popped this Flesh Gorger. So Freebooter is pretty good. 1, 2, 3. If we go... So this specifically reads sacrifice another creature. So if we go Thrillseeker onto Ayara, like this, and then we tap the Ayara for this ability, sacrifice the Thrillseeker, that's 3. We lose 2. And then we pop the Ayara for the final 5. Dude, holy cow. Actually, just having extra mana, I needed a second to think it through, but having all that extra mana was huge for us. And actually, we didn't even need to play the Freebooter. That is a beautiful example of how complex these sacrifice builds can actually be. A beautiful example of why AR is in here for just another reason to get around the excessive amount of blockers in Standard right now. It's amazing blocker after amazing blocker, just mixed in with way too much spot removal all the time. That was beautiful stuff. Holy cow. I'm really glad I stuck it out. I thought it through. I couldn't be happier. Did we just end on a high note? No, we're only 32 minutes in. We have time for one more game, and win or lose, I can't believe how well this is working out sometimes. Yeah, that was sick. Yeah, once the Ayara was ready to tap, you know, it survived the turn. AR is one of those cards too where it looks like it should have a big target on its back, but maybe it'll survive more often than we think. Fake your own death. Furnace Reins. Hey, okay. Okay, let's give it a shot. Opponent goes first too, though. There's nothing wrong with this hand by any means. Phoenix Chick. And the Phoenix Chick swing. There we go. And Cacophony Scamp. Hopefully Scamp doesn't get burnt away before we have the Fake Your Own Death. I just feel like that's a really good combo. Extra little ramp is really good too. So first of all, with those 3 victories in a row and just how successful everything played out too, like that first game really just did not showcase this deck list, right? I really do think after that, especially after that last one too, that everything came in like a really awkward order. And maybe I could have played it out a little better too, because even in that last one, I could have played it out much, much better. Like that was super risky keeping their lifelink creature around. Yeah, only the deck list was showing off there, that's for sure. Phoenix Chick number 2, Cacophony Scamp might survive the turn. Spear. Do we block while we have the block? No, the opponent says I block because I have the block. Okay. And Fanatical Offering. Fake Your Own Death is a good combat trick. I wanted the ramp off of it, but see what they end up doing. They might take this, but they kept the blocker back for a reason, I would assume. Or just to say they just didn't accept the trade, right? Where right now we're saying, hey, we accept that trade, and so they might keep Swift Spear around to try to deal more damage next turn. What we end up doing then, Fake Your Own Death, pop the Scamp, pop the Swift Spear anyways. Well, they actually do go for the block. I guess Combat Trick is good enough, I guess. We still get the treasure, because Scamp is still at 1. We still get the 3, so I guess we pop a Phoenix Chick, because I guess this could be pretty scary. crap. I don't even know. I guess, yeah, let's take care of some of their creatures. That's totally fine. The extra 3 damage would have been pretty good, but I'm trying to learn from the last game and like take some dangerous things out of the equation, and Phoenix Chick swinging in the air every single turn could really drain us. And so taking care of 2 of their creatures while ramping is just a really good turn. Yeah, if they wouldn't have gone for the block, we were going to pop the Swift Spear anyways with that 3 damage, and so all that still made sense to me to take care of it. Phoenix Chick as well. 3rd mana from the opponent. Give us something good to steal, buddy. Oh, Mechanized Warfare. It's a good thing we hit that Phoenix Chick, dude. It's a good thing. Probably establish for the turn with Ayara. Maybe I even pop this Scamp to take care of their last Phoenix Chick. It could be a lot of extra damage. Could go for the draw on the Offering. 1, 2. 2 mana open. I'm gonna say we take that action. Let's do it. Yeah, let's hit the Phoenix Chick and get it out of this equation. We've got so much mana in hand. We're gonna save that treasure token for the Fanatical Offering. And hopefully the opponent gives us something chunky to steal with this Furnace Reins. Like a good old Godric or something. That would be sick. Yeah, taking care of 3 of the opponent's creatures in a deck that very much cares about having those creatures with evasion as well. Ayara might not survive the turn. Lightning Strike obviously exists in mono red. Okay. With 3 cards in the opponent's hand, they are thinking this over, and that is totally fine, opponent. Reckless Impulse, try to find more. They do find a Play with Fire. Play with Fire does hit for 3 because of the Warfare. That's perfect. They thought it through. They probably figured we had a decent chance of finding some burn, and the burn really worked out in their favor. But before anything else, we're going to do this Fanatical Offering to try to see more off the top. We have a lot of 1s and 2s. More mana, another Fanatical Offering. We're just going to keep that open for sure. Because there will be nothing else that we can do this turn, so let it pass back. Opponent's not playing blue or anything, so no reason to play around counter spells or anything like that, right? So the Fanatical Offering restocking our hand is going to be pretty darn good here. And this is anyone's game. Holy cow. Show-Off. And they might as well play Reckless Impulse. They get 4 damage through. I think this is now heavily leaning towards the opponent here. Opponent's tapped out. We're going to do this now, see what's on top. Monstrous Rage and another Offering. Okay. So Show-Off isn't bad to steal, but it would obviously be much better if we had a way to sacrifice it, which actually we do. Fanatical Offering. Almost. I don't know why, dude. I'm like, today I'm just overlooking a lot of stuff that our deck is doing. Yeah, we have the 5th mana, so I think that's pretty good. Extra treasure, Fanatical Offering restocks our hand. Take the Show-Off, untap it. Actually, if we go, hold up, we're going to get the extra treasure. So we do have the Monstrous Rage for the turn, right? Because we're going to get the extra treasure off the Furnace Reins. That's 6 getting through. Treasure. Fanatical Offering. Tap it. Slickshot Show-Off. Draw 2. Oh no, the flood. The flood is real, guys. Oh crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 on the board. That's 10. We definitely have to talk about less mana for this build, but at the same time... Oh, this is a flood for sure, though, right? 42. We saw 10 mana in the top. Oh, Slickshot Show-Off. Hi. I believe the opponent wins next turn, but hello. Not half bad. I guess technically we could have won this turn if we didn't see this much flood, right? With Show-Off off the top, holy cow, that is more mana. I guess we'll keep a blocker because, wow, Thrillseeker. Okay, we're gonna try to survive the turn, but I'm pretty sure we're dead no matter what, right? They power up Foundry, they full swing. The Foundry's an artifact as well. When it's an artifact creature, so the warfare buffs it. If we block Feldon, it's a trade. Mishra's a trade. Anything in hand, including a Play with Fire, will kill us. So Foundry, let the 2 get through on the Feldon so they don't see more off the top. And the Festivities could work too. It's going to be a Lightning Strike, actually. GG opponent, man. Holy cow, it's been forever since we've seen Mechanized Warfare Red. Still looks amazing. It still looks really good. It was a good game for sure. 60% win rate, that's about right. If we would have won there, probably would have felt a little bit lucky then. Instead, I'd say we got a little unlucky. That was a pretty significant flood. It's not like we have 26 mana in here. With all those extra draws on the Fanatical Offering and everything, there was no reason to actually see that much mana off of those draws. At 24 mana, okay. Here's the deck list again, guys, and while I have you here at the end, I totally forget if I went over it in the middle of this video or if that was the last video, but make sure you check out that description where we got that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. It really does go the extra mile, so I never get to say it enough, so I've been trying to say it more. Thank you to all my patrons, for real. Y'all are champions. Also, you're a champion if you just made it this far into the video too, for real, so... Okay, the deck list. What to say, man? First of all, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get to throw as many slick shots at the opponent's face as I thought I was going to. Now, we did throw 1 slick shot today. Or was it 2? Well, actually, maybe... I forget right now. Anyways, I would have loved to just throw a couple more chunky slick shots because, I don't know, that just seems like really fun to me. But the deck is more than capable of being able to do that. The Furnace Reins did a thing in that last game, but didn't do the thing enough, unfortunately, because we just got too much mana. So if we drop a mana, you guys can see we almost got an even split between black sources and red sources. The deck really wants double red on the board very often. We can quite successfully drop to 23 mana, drop that swamp. Yeah, no problems there at all. I don't think so. I don't think anyone would argue with me there. Dropping that swamp is probably necessary. So close to the even split as well. We could actually bring it up to an even split. Just add a little bit more burn. Could have been pretty good. More combat tricks. I don't know if that would do the thing. Not too many creatures in here. 21 total creatures. I mean, I guess that's a good amount, but one of them's on the top end, Rankle and Torbran, which was actually really good today, and we actually had no issues getting that out, probably because we have 24 mana in here. Still think the 23 is going to be enough. Here's our ramp pieces, guys. Freebooter, Fake Your Own Death was actually really sick today. Again, I'm shocked that this was a reprint and that I didn't play more of it since it came out in New Capenna. So there's our ramp. Fake Your Own Death, Greedy Freebooter. Oh, Furnace Reins as well. All that providing treasure for us. We can, what do we go up? We have a spot for 1 more card. The double Ayara, I don't think we want 3 of these. Double Thrillseeker. This could be pretty good, but I think the 2 of is actually pretty fine in here too. Like 1 more piece of spot removal could be fine. I don't know. I'm not convinced by the Felonious Rage. Just some simple burn, maybe. Or something that helps us see even more off the top, but happens to be... Okay, how about... How about we grab something? So Fanatical Offering, sure, that keeps our hand nice and stocked, but you also need the sacrifice too. I can't remember the name of the card right now for some reason. There it is. Blazing Crescendo. What do you guys think? One of those? So I got even more combat tricks packed in. We have Monstrous Rage combat trick, Fake Your Own Death, Felonious Rage, and Blazing Crescendo as well. Getting a 2-mana card in here does give us an even split between 1-drops and 2-drops, which is pretty funny. So the curve might be a little bit more awkward. But overall, it's an aggro curve anyways. Like, an excessive amount of early game that drops off significantly. So when you do end up seeing your mid-game goodies, well, I don't know. This is tough. We have spot for one card. I think the card I'm adding is Blazing Crescendo, but I totally think you guys can add whatever one card you want, and it could just be more spot removal. It could just be like a lightning strike too, just something that actually just burns the opponent's face. That's a big reason why all these extra cards are in here anyways. But cards that buff our creatures, like Crescendo, helps us see more off the top. That one card off the top could be a Burn Together. Burn Together could throw whatever you dropped the Crescendo on. I'm actually talking myself into more of these. Maybe we could drop the Felonious Rage into a Crescendo too, and then the curve would be a little bit less awkward, since we have 14 1-drops and 16 2-drops then. No, I'm actually just going to stick with this as is. And I probably shouldn't be worrying about the curve as much as I actually am. So we have a perfect even split between red cards and black cards here. We got 23 total mana. Awkward curve, but it's an aggro curve anyways. Blackcleave Cliffs and Haunted Ridge. The Haunted Ridge could be the Pain Land if you want. Remember, I went over that at the beginning. I had the Pain Land and the honorable mentions. I said, I just feel like that this deck doesn't need the open mana right away. And I'll tell you what, Pain Land really does a lot of extra damage if you see 1 or 2 of them, or 3. Sometimes you see just 3 Pain Land at the beginning and you're like, well, I guess I'm dead, because everything you tap is just destroying your face, right? So yeah, I kind of feel like this is still a deck that doesn't need the Pain Land, so this is totally fine. I'm going to keep the mana base as is, but definitely something to consider for sure. Now, is this on the Do Not Craft list? The deck did pretty good today, and overall, it's not too expensive, right? Callous Sell-Sword. Where's our rares? Slickshot Show-Off, Voldaren, Picure, Ayara, and Rankle? Is that it? Plus the mana base, though, too. So it really depends how well you can put together a Rakdos mana base as well. This is still a chunk of rares, but overall, not too bad. I'm not sure if this one should go on the Do Not Craft list or not. That's another thing. Let me know in the comments. I'm actually just like relatively confused. I don't know how to feel about the list. I don't know if that was really good or just awkward and too many of those matches, or just have no idea, dude. So yeah, definitely let me know in the comments. I guess for now then, since I really don't know, I guess we should say put it on the Do Not Craft list then, right? But yeah, once we separate the rares and everything, if you have all the cards already, this is definitely one to try out if it looks fun, for sure. Any style of deck like this is pretty fun to pilot too. Luckily, I feel like I piloted it well enough today, although I think there were definitely some plays that I could have optimized. Okay, guys, hey, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video, once again, y'all are champions, and I will see you in the next video.